My name's Earl. This is my nephew Bill. We wanted to put this little video together for folks thinking about buying a
leveling
tree
tree
stand.
climbing tree stand.
Right. So Bill and I know, as far as we know, there's only two levelers out there on the market. One's Equalizer, and the other is the new higher level. Bill and I have owned Equalizer tree stands. I bought mine year after they came out. Bill bought his a year after that. So I'm thinking 10, 12 years, whatever it's been. Last year, Bill and I were desperate to get a backup for our Equalizers. We use these stands from September all the way through to the end of January, and we use them a lot.
Now, Equalizer had stopped production 2-3 years ago, I think it was.
Yes.
3 years ago, maybe.
Something like that.
So there wasn't anything out there on the market until 2015, I think it was. Was it
Last year.
last year?
Last year.
So that's when we found out about Buckhorn, who makes the higher leveling tree stand.
Now, according to Buckhorn, according to the website, these stands were equal. No, they were actually better
than the Equalizer. The
Equalizer.
new improved Equalizer,
Right.
I believe, is what they put on the website.
So with that said, Bill and I, again, being desperate for backups for our Equalizers, because we cannot be, at this point, after using a leveling tree stand all these years, be without one. It's imperative to have those. So we wanted a backup. So we went ahead and purchased, each of us purchased a higher level stand. To say that we were disappointed
Would be an understatement.
yeah, would be an understatement. Last year, again, we got those. I used mine all of last season, as well as Bill did. With that said, we found that there's some problems with
There's
these
issues.
issues. All right, so this is my Equalizer, and this stand again is I want to say at least 10 years old. It's not 12 years old, and I use it all season. The only time I haven't used it was last year when I bought the higher level. So anyway, if you look at this stand, you can see the difference, and there's just no comparison between this mechanism and the mechanism on these new higher levels. This has hardly any movement to it, barely any movement at all to it. The crank's up here,
Stationary.
stationary. This rides up and down. Your crank is here. On the higher levels, your crank is here. And this whole unit runs up and down your threaded bar. So you're constant, when you're adjusting this stand, you have to follow this up and down. Whereas the Equalizer, everything's right here. You just reach over, you crank it. This one here rides up and down. You have to follow it as you're adjusting this stand. And again, it's noisy. There's just no getting around the fact that this stand is noisy. And we all know when you're trying to get up a tree, whether it be in the morning or the afternoon, you want to be as quiet as you can. And this simply does not allow that to happen. The other thing too is that when we climb, we duck climb or whatever they call it. Our feet go out under here. Like Bill said, these wear on your boots. Number one, you spend a lot of money on rubber boots, and this mechanism will actually wear those boots down, especially when you use a stand as much as we do. Go ahead.
The reason being is, the angle's on there.
Right.
It's
So,
not rounded like
the Equalizer.
the Equalizer.
You look at the Equalizer, and the Equalizer is rounded. Right? This is all squared off with actually edges on it. So anyway, I really think that's minor compared to the fact that this thing is just noisy, loose. It's not. It just doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel solid. It doesn't feel like a good. I just don't feel safe in this stand. I actually used this stand last year for the whole season. The stand's noisy. It's hard to get set on a tree without this stand popping on you. If you look at the other thing about this stand is if you look at the teeth on this stand, these teeth are square. All these teeth are square. There's no bevel to this at all. This doesn't allow this to bite into the tree. You actually have to put all your weight on the front of this stand to lock it into the tree. And you have to make sure it's locked in. Bill and I have both had this stand slip on us. And other stands will slip, but this has a tendency to slip more than the others. So
Well, Equalizers is beveled.
The
It's tapered.
right.
It's got a tapered.
The Equalizer teeth are beveled. And you can see that these are tapered down. And they bite into the tree with no problem. In all the years I've been using this stand, I've never felt insecure in this stand. And we hunt. A lot of people think we're crazy, but we spend a lot of time 30 foot and above in trees. And that's, minimum height is 25 feet. So anyway, the mechanism, and it's the same on either your platform or your seat. The mechanism's the same. And it just, again, it feels very, very flimsy. And you can see it. You can see how this whole mechanism moves. And that just does not feel safe. So, and it, these cables, no matter what you do, they're going to slap a little bit. But when you've got it attached to this mechanism, and this mechanism's already as loose as it is, you're going to get that much more noise out of it. And we certainly have. So, I think this, in conjunction with this, just don't feel comfortable in this stand. I actually dealt with the noise last year and used this stand all season. This year, after my second set in September, I hung this stand up. This higher level got hung up, and I have used my Equalizer all season this year. I was trying to save my Equalizer because up till this point we didn't think Equalizer was going to be made again. All right, so we were talking about the noise in these mechanisms, and you can see this is the higher level on my left and the Equalizer on my right. There's no movement in this piece here compared to the higher level. Even cranking these, this is the crank on the Equalizer, and this Equalizer again is 10 to 12 years old. Okay, never replaced a part on it, and I use it. I can't emphasize enough how much time I spend in this tree stand. So you see, nice and smooth and quiet. If you come over here to the higher level, you can see and hear, and you can see how loose that mechanism is. And to say that this is anything near, to compare this higher level as being better than the Equalizer is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. So anyway, that's the cranks. I wanted to show you that. I think we got that. And Bill wants to talk about. He had an issue with this year with this threaded bar.
Right. Basically, what happened is down on the bottom here, when I was climbing down the tree, I was probably 10 feet off the ground when I heard just a clanging noise. It's coming down the tree, and not knowing what had happened. Was that this actual part here slides up into a hole there, and it's held in place with a screw through underneath this cover. What had happened was the screw had actually blown out the side of this bracket, and was actually, every time I lifted off the tree, it slid down, and then when I put pressure back on it, it slammed back up against the top of the stand here. Now, I was only 10 feet, could something have happened? Yes, but I was strapped in, so it wouldn't have mattered. But They never required to see this piece. When I called them, I left 3 messages to get a new part, because this is basically my archery stand. My equalizer is my shotgun stand, because they coincide with the states that we hunt. But you can see it blew out right here, and they never wanted this piece back. I asked, and they said no. I would think that safety reasons, insurance reasons for them or something, they'd want to be able to do some type of testing on here to see why this happened. But they never did. So I saved it just in case. And as you can see, it's just a small screw. It might be a 1/2-inch screw length, and that's all it's holding that in, and it just it blew right out, the plastic right out the side. So that's a problem, concern that I have safety wise. Something could have happened, but the fact that they just didn't ask me to send this piece back so they could find out why, to make sure that it doesn't happen to anybody else, is a concern to me. But that being said,
They did replace the part,
they replaced the part, yes.
but they never called to inquire what happened, or like Bill said, for the part back. Okay, so I want to talk about the fact with this higher level stand, when you're sitting in the stand and you're adjusting the stand, you have to follow when you crank this whole mechanism comes up or goes down, and that's the same way on the seat as it is the platform. So if you're reaching down, especially to the platform, to adjust it, you have to follow this crank down. So that means you gotta lean over and move up and down with the crank. It gets precarious at best. It's a little hairy, and it's not comfortable is what it is. It's just not comfortable. If you look at the equalizer is stationary. This crank does not move. It's right there. So you're not trying to reach down or adjust how you're cranking the stand. This stays in one spot, and you simply just move it. You don't have to worry about following the thing up and down. It doesn't seem like much, but when you're using it, if you've never used one, you would see the difference. So I guess really that's what we want to, and why, one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video. People that have never owned an equalizer, an original equalizer, and bought a higher level, would not know that there is a much better product on the market to use. So it's just, this stand I don't feel safe in, and that's the bottom line, and I just don't feel safe in it. It's a comfortable stand. I have no problem with the stand itself, but it's the mechanisms, it's the teeth. It just wasn't well thought, and it's no comparison to the original. Bill and I have never done anything like this before, but we feel pretty strongly about this product, the Equalizer, and I've been a fan since I bought my Equalizer 10, 12 years ago. I tell people about it all the time, and when I bought this new higher level, I thought I was buying something comparable, and it's not.
Well, something better.
Something better. At least as good, right?
Yeah, as good.
As good as the original. It didn't have to be better than the original, but at least as good as the original. And it's not. It's not.
No, there's too many flaws in that mechanism, that cranking mechanism, to even say that it's equal or comparative or anything close to the Equalizer. It's just not. And again, we're regular guys. We hunt all the time. Neither one of us has any stake in either company. We don't know anybody from either company. We're doing this because we had the original, went to something that was supposed to be better, and most people don't know. If they don't have the original Equalizer, most people buying this higher level would think that this is the greatest thing ever, and it really isn't. It's adequate at best, but it is definitely not the new Equalizer.
Mm-mm.
It's not.
And like I said, I my higher level has been in my shed, hanging on hooks all season, and this is before I didn't even realize Buckshot was back to making Equalizers again.
Yeah, we just found that
yeah,
out.
yeah. So
actually, we were hunting, and they got an email that they were manufacturing again. So, you know, my uncle's hasn't used his stand all year. He hung it up, and mine's going to get hung up too because I'm going to get another Equalizer because it's just
it's the thing about it is it's just not it's not feeling safe is one thing, but the stand is not quiet.
It's not quiet. It's noisy.
It's a noisy stand. You get up in your tree, you try and get comfortable, and once you think you have it where you need to have it, and you go to move, pop, the thing starts popping on you, and you just can't have it. And we're archery hunters. I mean, we do some gun hunting, but our main thing is bow hunting, and if any other bow hunter knows, everything has to be perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, we like to. You want to get in the woods quiet. You want to get up a tree quiet. You want to get down quiet, and it's very hard to do that climbing up a tree with this higher level.
It just don't work.
It's tough. It's just tough to do. So
we hope that this helps, and that's really all we're trying to do is help out people out there that are looking to buy one of these stands. Do yourself a favor. If you're going to buy a leveling tree stand, buy the original Equalizer. It's the way to go.
It's a better stand. It's a safer stand.
And I've I thought that's what we were getting when we bought these higher levels, but it's certainly not.
Yeah, and if you guys got any questions, feel free throw a comment down below, and we'll try and answer you, help you out. Give us, we'll give you our opinion, and that's all we're doing. We're giving you our opinion on what we feel is what everybody should have. So, if you like the video, thank you. If not,
Good hunting.
good hunting.